YouTube. It's Mark Hill, and I am, or I was, the traveling NP. I wanted to give a little update about what I've been doing and maybe give a little insight for people who are starting in the locum tenens traveling business and what it can lead to and the good things that can come out of it. Not that being a locums provider isn't good in and of itself, because it is, and it's a fantastic way of making a living. But as many of you know, about, I guess 4 or 5 months ago, I accepted a full-time position with a hospital that I had worked for as a locums provider. And after working with them on contract for about a year, they had been coming to me, numerous times trying to talk me into coming to work for them. And I decided that I liked what was going on there, and I liked the possibilities that were presented to me. And so I accepted the position. And so I started full-time. Well, I'd been working essentially full-time hours with them for a year and a half, but I came on staff as a staff provider the 1st of May. And since then, everything has gone very well. I'm the sole provider in a small rural clinic, pretty much out in the middle of nowhere in a small community that is very underserved, which is exactly the way I like it. And then I pull one weekend call a month in the emergency room at a critical access hospital, in which I was doing that for this hospital before. So it's really not a change there. It's been really a good situation. I came into a clinic that really didn't have a full-time provider. They had been putting locums providers in here some, and some of the providers that were at the hospital, at the other main clinic, were coming over a day or two, and they were open about 3 days a week. And so when I came, we changed everything up, and we were open Monday through Friday. And we also not only do family practice, but we also have a walk-in urgent care clinic. We changed all that to where you do not have to make an appointment at my clinic. You can just walk in if you need to, with the understanding that you may have to wait if we have people that are already scheduled. And the beauty of that for me is that, this town is, 35, close to 40 miles from the nearest hospital. And so a lot of things that would go to the emergency room normally come here. I have the capability of emergency. I have heart monitors, EKG machines. I have basically a little emergency room set up in my clinic. I have emergency rescue, ACLS drugs. I can intubate. We had a young man in hypovolemic shock last week, as a matter of fact, who we started IVs on and stabilized, called an ambulance and got him to the hospital. But he came here first. And so by the time the ambulance got here, we had already started resuscitating him, and his blood pressure was back to normal, and his heart rate was back to normal with volume replacement. So we do a lot more than the average clinic would do, and it's because of the need we have to service, the community. I do a lot of suturing. I do a lot of removal of foreign objects. Somebody has chest pain, they come here first. So we do end up transferring a lot of people from here by ambulance to the hospital after we start treatment on them. So it's really kind of the best of both worlds for me. I get to continue doing some ER work, plus take call in the emergency room once a month. and then get back into the primary care uh, business that I started out in. And my point in all of this is that working locums, got this all going for me. I really enjoyed working locums, and in some cases and ways, I miss it. My wife asked me yesterday if I missed doing the traveling, and the truth is that sometimes I do. I do enjoy what I'm doing now, though. And because of the situation with my son going back to school full time, he's playing football, and he's a good football player, and so he wanted to play football this year, and so we just felt like for him it'd be best if we were in one place and able to have a little more stable scenario for him. A few years down the road, who knows? I may go back to traveling some. I don't know, but I've got a really good situation here. I've got good benefits. I've got a good team. I've got a good support system. My clientele is building every week. We're busier and busier and busier. So basically what locums did for me is it turned into kind of a dream job. It's the kind of job that everybody wants, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I'm home by 4:30 every afternoon. I have set call days. Call is usually very light. I did have a horrible weekend. Last weekend I was on call, and as soon as I got to the hospital, I had a patient that was unresponsive and had to intubate and put him on the ventilator and fly him to the nearest tertiary hospital, which was about 2.5 hours drive away. So the helicopter had to come pick him up. So it can get busy, and there can be some really sick people. But it's exciting. I enjoy it, and I enjoy that kind of work. And sometimes it's really busy, sometimes it's not. In the clinic, it's getting to where it's consistently busy after several months, and the community is having to learn that it's different now, and so they're getting used to the idea of having a full-time provider here all the time, and they really appreciate that. These small rural communities, they get attached to their providers, and they become very dependent on them. So I have worked very little locums. I pulled a couple of ER shifts, some weekend stuff a couple of months ago. Haven't done anything since. I don't know what my plans will be. I'm going to just kind of play it by ear. I may work a few weekend shifts here and there. I'm still doing a little bit of telemedicine. I've dropped off a bunch of it. Just don't have time anymore. When you're working 8 to 4 every day, you just don't really have the time you used to. But I still have some telemed contracts that I do, and but ones that aren't real demanding as far as time wise. So yeah, it's so far it's been fantastic. I really enjoy what I do, and really getting a sense of satisfaction out of it. But I do miss locums. Something about it, something about that ability to pick and choose and do what I wanted to do. I probably always miss that to some degree. So anyway, don't look at locums as just an avenue for making money and short term necessarily. Just something that you're doing, it sounds confusing, but it's something that you're doing for whatever reason that you're doing it. But sometimes, like myself, it may turn into a job. You may get a job offer that you just say, hey, this is a good fit for me. And that's kind of what happened. It turned out to be a good fit, and salary was good, benefits are good, the situation was good, and I had no reason not to take it. So I did, and I don't regret that for 1 minute. It's okay to miss locums because it was a very fun time in our lives. So But you never know. Locums may turn into the dream job for you. So keep that in mind when you're working these jobs. You know, if you find something you really like, don't be afraid to re-up. Don't be afraid to extend your contract. If you find something that's a good fit for you, you don't have to sign a full-time contract with anybody. Just extend your contract. And you may find after 6, 9 months or a year, hey, this is the job for you. And most places, if you work out, they're willing to offer you a contract. So, you know, the hospital bought my contract out through the locums company, and, you know, it all worked out really well. So, anyway, just kind of wanted to give you an update of what I was doing. I don't know how many more videos I'll make. If I ever go back to locums again, and maybe I'll pick them back up. But I've just about talked about everything that I know to talk about in locums. I don't know everything there is to know. Never claimed to. Most of these videos were basically about my experiences and about what I learned, and I learned a lot. And I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic experience for me and my family. We had a blast doing it, and we make good money. So nothing to regret. So anyway, don't know when I'll make another video. May not make another one. Not sure. We'll see. Anyway, this is Mark Hill, and I am the Traveling NP, and I'll see you in the future.